Well, it depends what you mean by the left. Look, I mean, people who don't want to think their way through this are just going to be no help. I mean, people who, let me row back a moment. I mean, I go back to this thing I said about identity politics. If you think that the world is basically about you, I mean, this is obviously a particularly millennial thing, but if you think that basically the world is about you and it has to adapt to you because you're such a bloody star, then there's not much use you can be in your life, certainly not politically. If you recognize that there are things like solidarity and common humanity, but also common interests which are of concern, and you want to engage yourself in that, then there's a start. But the left seems to me to be simply interested in victim group stuff and these fantastical notions they come up with of patriarchy and all this stuff, which is it's like the world invented by social science graduates, and it's well, I mean, I think this is and they're in a dead end in my view. I think that the left has gone into a cul-de-sac. I'm not saying the right hasn't as well. I'm not making a left-right point. The left has gone into this weird cul-de-sac. And by the way, they have a hilarious tendency at excommunication. I mean, that is one of the few things they have given us that's caused some pleasure. I happen to be gay. It doesn't inform my politics particularly, because I don't think that, your sexual preference means you also have to sign up for another set of political criteria. But there are lots of people who think you should really, and like being a woman or being black or whatever, there's political consequences to this, and I love seeing these people excommunicating the wrong type of gays, and the wrong type of. Or was it somebody said after Rachel Dolezal? Somebody said that there was a black leader in America who said that a lot of black people in America would recognize in her more kinship than they would in, say, Clarence Thomas. And you go, wow, the whole thing's about politics. It's nothing to do with skin pigmentation. It's nothing to do with color. It turns out not to be to do with race. You just want to win a political fight. And that seems to me the contemptible position that a lot of the left in America in particular is stuck in. So they're no use in this stuff. And, one of the ones we go around on here, it's happening in Britain again at the moment. You need to read this out, but the DUP thing. There are people who say, okay, here this group of people who, if you decide to gay marry, won't bake your wedding cake, okay? And they say, okay, so when you criticize these guys in ISIS for throwing people off buildings, well, that guy won't cook your wedding cake. So, who's to call? And you get that on a whole range. That we had it the other day after the attack on mainly young women at a pop concert, blown up with a nail bomb for being at a pop concert. And if you point out that the killer of those young women, among others, was almost certainly driven by a form of Islamic misogyny, you get these people still from the left who say, well, the Daily Mail had a column by one of their female columnists that talked about the legs of the First Minister and the Prime Minister. So, misogyny. Well, I'll take my bets for the front page of the Daily Mail over the nail bomber at the pop concert any day. But they're floundering for excuses for why not to start talking about this. They're floundering around. They're fumbling. I hope they know. I hope they know deep down what they're up to. I hope they are starting to sense and feel the shame they should be feeling.